everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video about project management, we'll talk about what is a roadmap and why do I need one? Well, let's start out with the definition of a roadmap. A roadmap is a high-level visual representation of the project's goals, key milestones, timelines, and major deliverables. In other words, it's really what it is you're doing, how long it'll take, and what the end result will be. And if you're like me, it takes you a while to think through why you should put this together for your project, because after all, you could just get started on it right now. But it actually makes sense to take the time to really think through these points and figuring out, what it is that you're doing and when you're doing it and how long that will take rather than just getting started. So if you do take the time to figure out this plan, I promise you it'll pay off in the end because you'll be much more aware of what you're doing for your project, and you'll have a much clearer idea of what you should get started on next. So you're going to be in a position where you can skip a lot of the time that otherwise you would have had to sort of switch gears and think through, well, what can we do next? So doing this before you even start your project can really help you stay on track and just keep going whenever you reach a milestone so that you can already start working on the next one. So in this video, we'll talk through why exactly it's good for you to have a roadmap. Well, first of all, it can really help whoever is on your team visualize the project's progress and understand the value that they will receive. So in this sense, the roadmap provides a clear and concise overview of the project's entire journey. So that can really help your stakeholders, your team members, or even your clients just understand what the scope of the project is and where you're going with it when you start it, basically. So this can be a very important tool for communication between teams or between just different people involved in the project, and it can help prevent misunderstandings and help manage expectations. So hopefully you'll already see that there's definitely some value here with customers or with other team members, whoever is working on this project, because it's never a bad idea to prevent misunderstandings and make sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody knows what they're working on and why and at what point. If your roadmap is well defined, it should set realistic expectations about the project's timeline and outcomes. So with this roadmap, you'll be able to figure out how realistic your goals are, because in order to create it in the first place, you have to think through various stages of the project, what you'll need to accomplish at each of these stages, and also who should be involved in working on each stage. So this can really help you to think strategically about the project's phases, the dependencies between the different milestones, like maybe something else needs to be completed first before you can start on another thing. And just having that clear on a piece of paper can be really helpful. It'll also help you think through what resources you need. So it can help you identifying potential bottlenecks and resource constraints even before you start your project. So you're really being proactive about identifying risks and finding appropriate solutions as soon as possible when you sit down to make a project roadmap. A project roadmap can also help you prioritize tasks and allocate the resources that you have efficiently. So for example, it ensures that your team's efforts are focused on tasks that are aligned with the project's goals at all times. And even if, for example, one task gets delayed, you can already see, well, what are the other tasks that would need to be completed as well? And you can potentially start on those in the meantime. So it can really help you just move your entire project forward if you know all these components and you know when they're supposed to be occurring. And then finally, another plus point for having a roadmap for your team is that it really can boost motivation if your team members can see the project's progress and they see when they reach a milestone. So it can really give your entire team a sense of accomplishment and direction and keep them engaged, particularly when you're trying to deliver a complex project, maybe with a fast turnaround. This can be a really helpful tool for you. So hopefully I've convinced you that the main advantages of having a roadmap revolve around having something clearly documented of what it is you're doing and where you're going with it. It can help you to align and communicate better with other team members or clients. It can also help you manage expectations, and it's just a really great strategic planning tool that you can use. You can refer back to it at any point during the project to help you figure out what to prioritize next and where to allocate your resources. It's also a really important tool to just plan for risks and figure out solutions. And even though a roadmap should provide structure, it also always should allow for some adjustments and some flexibility as circumstances change. You're inevitably going to run into some issues that will either delay your projects or change some other things. That has happened to me personally a lot of the times. And your roadmap should be flexible enough to accommodate these unforeseen challenges so you can stay on track with your project and just guarantee its success despite all of these potential setbacks. So even though you're making a plan now, that doesn't mean you have to stick to it. And this is maybe a counterintuitive idea because you might be thinking, well, why would I need to make a plan if I'm not going to stick to it anyways? Well, it's just the exercise of thinking through the possible constraints that your project has, such as the resources or the timeline. And it's just good to think through that as an exercise and then seeing what you learn from that. And if some of these circumstances do occur, then you already perhaps even have a solution in place for this as a potential risk that you can immediately solve. So hopefully you'll understand now better why you should have a project roadmap and how it can help you deliver a more successful project. So remember that a project roadmap is not just a document, but it's actually a strategic tool that guides you and your project to success, and it's absolutely worth the time to sit down for a half an hour or an hour or however long it takes to make a project roadmap and use it with your team to move your project forward. And if you still need help with your project, don't forget to ask your boss for help. Do you have a good relationship with your boss? If you don't, check out the link in the description again, where I've created my free guide on my website. You can download it today, and it'll help you today to better your relationship with your boss so that you can rely on them more for support with your projects. They can help get you unstuck when your project is not working out the way you thought it would. So absolutely check that out if you don't have a great relationship with your boss yet. Or even if you do, maybe it can help you get an even better relationship with your boss. So again, download my free guide, and I'm hoping that this video was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the comments below.